name is Jeremi Denis. We're here on the restaurant panel. I'm a small restaurant owner, and we have, if everyone can introduce themselves, going down, starting with yourself.
Mohammed Zohdy. I own Alexander's Restaurant, Shaughnessy Street.
My name is Roby Joseph, and I own Cuisine Tropical on Notre Dame Avenue.
Hi, my name is Krysta Lapointe, and I'm a commercial real estate agent with Millette Goring.
Hi, my name is DeRocchis. I'm an environmental support officer, public health inspector with Public Health Sudbury and Districts.
Oh, that's awesome. We have some great guests here to talk about just the ways of getting into the restaurant business and how to get yourself situated properly.
The two restaurateurs here, I've eaten at least one of their restaurants and had great food. Myself, I have a small restaurant in Northern Ontario. It's a cafe called St. Denis Market, and we just opened about 2 months ago, but I've been catering for over 8 years. So today we're going to really lead on we're going to start with the health aspect of the restaurant business, because I know two months ago when I was opening up, my biggest fear was the health department and making sure my location was set up properly for health. So what are some of the concerns that you would see in the health industry that restaurateurs should really look at?
Well, what we're really looking at is to make sure that your space and your food handling and your food storage, food cooking, all of that stuff meets the requirements of the regulation. We are enforcement officers, but you don't need to be scared of us. We don't want you to be scared of us. We're there to educate, and in doing so, we're also there to make sure that you're essentially serving a safe food. That's the end goal. The food needs to be safe to eat. We want to reduce the risk of foodborne illness. So in general, we're looking at cleanliness. We're looking at hand washing, that you have good hygiene when you're food handling. You're cooking in a safe manner to proper temperatures, that your food is stored properly, so to avoid contamination. And then we're looking as well at the building in general. So, the floors, the walls, the ceilings, all that stuff. So there's really quite a lot that we look at, but no need to be scared. We want to educate. We want to work with food operators. So just give your public health unit a call if you have questions on how to get started, and we're happy to answer. I don't know if I really...
No, that's great. I know when 2.5 months ago, before we were starting the renovations, we had you come in, we had the health department came in, they went through all the different steps, they gave me a checklist, so I was very, very confident when I then eventually opened and I wanted to get my sticker, that when they came in, they're like, oh, Jeremy, you did this, you did this, you did this, did this, oh, well, we could catch up on that and type of thing, so that was really good. Can you tell us about your experience with the health department and how that maybe affected your business? And
Well, so far I don't think I have any issue with the health unit at all. I think I've been in the business for 30 years, and I have not yet had any issue. As a matter of fact, I comply with everything that you provide, and I do work with you very well, and I appreciate the hard work that you do, because it's a safety for everyone. And so far, it's been fantastic working experience with the health unit and health officers. It's been, since we closed for the pandemic and reopened, open, we maintained the health perspective. We maintain the sanitization, we maintain the food handling, we maintain for us, not to follow what the law says, but it's also for us to make common sense to provide the food with dignity. You don't want any illness whatsoever. So far it's been fantastic. I can't complain. The health officers so far have been coming to my establishment for the last 30 years. They've been wonderful people and very good people to work with, and I think I work with a lot of people for 30 years. They became customers, became friends, and it's wonderful. It was lovely to see when you come to my establishment, and I'm so proud, man, and just say I made the job easier on the officer who comes to my place. Yeah, it was a very easy job when they come to my place, because I met every aspect you ever provide us. I was able to do that because I'm proud, man, and I'm very I'm very careful. Like my kitchen door is open, my dining room's door is open, and most of my customers really before the pandemic, they will come from the kitchen more than they come in the front. And then when the pandemic happened and we closed and we opened, and they will come from the fronts for sanitization, for this, for mask, for whatever we had to see the passport for coming in and vaccination and why not. And we just continue working with the health unit, and it's been fantastic. So I can't complain at all.
And in your restaurant, have you seen benefits where the health department really helped you in getting stronger, or?
You cannot have a restaurant serving food without health department support.
Yeah.
So it's the first call, the first way to go. So when we started, this was just an idea, then we started at home. I'm the kind of businessman. When I have an idea, I just go for it, and then I will meet the requirement while I'm doing it.
Yeah.
So we start cooking at home. And then on the long, I heard like, it's not that legal. It's not, I know myself. I know I'm a very clean person. People can trust me, but it's not that. It's the public now you're serving.
Yeah.
So I said, you know what? We've been doing it for a couple months. We have to stop doing it or go forward. Right. So we decided we're gonna open a restaurant now. So the first step was to contact health department. Hopefully somebody gave me the idea. I thought I was gonna have to have everything ready, but when I get there, I meet some wonderful guy.
Yeah.
They will tell me, this is the checklist. You're talking about checklist?
Yeah.
This is what you're supposed to have, And I go to I see my place. I say, okay, this is what I have. They came to visit. They say, okay, you have that thing, you have that. This is what you need now. When you're ready, just give me a call so I can check it before we go. So they were there, and when they come, I remember I had that problem with that working fridge.
Yeah.
And then every time it come, something, it wouldn't work. I said, it was working earlier. What happened? So no problem. Okay, no worry. Just let me know when it's ready. I'm gonna come again. Yeah. So even I opened my restaurant during the pandemic. Yeah. So it's not like I was there 30 years ago and I had to close, or I opened just last month. No, right on in March 2020, it opened. So with all the requirements, you have to have the safety glass, you have to have this, you have to have that, you have to have. So we open like that.
Yeah.
So for me, after COVID, it's gonna be smooth because I have everything already. Yeah. So yeah, and then they were coming like every 2 weeks or every week to check. Oh, Roby, okay, this is what you need for passive thing, for everything. It's wonderful. And now, with the help of the department, I know because I didn't go to school, to know how to set up the restaurant,
right,
to know all those things. So without their help, I wouldn't be able to make it.
Yeah, and I think that's one of the biggest things is a lot of us, like myself, I saw the opportunity, and I like to cook, right? So I just started cooking, and I started serving people because they wanted food in my community. And then when I got to the point where I could go more commercial, it's like, okay, I have to comply with everything. It's not that I wasn't complying, but now it's top of mind. And I find the health department really helped me take the ease. I remember when they were coming, I was like, jitters, And then the day I was gonna open, I'm like, I planned for an opening in 2 days, and I'm like, is he gonna make it? And he's like, I got the sticker. I was like, telling her, I got the sticker, But it was such an easy process, and I think in the restaurant business and in many businesses, if we utilize a lot of the experts that are out there that can really help us in making sure our businesses are compliant, and then they're great for the customer that coming in, because like we're just coming out of COVID, and we have so many different things that are happening. There's so many different colds and whatnot. When we're safe, our food is safe, our people are safe, and we can go from there.
Our business is safe.
Yeah, right. One of the questions I want to ask is to the restaurateurs is, where do you find you get your ingredients? Like, what are some of your best places? Being in Northern Ontario, sometimes it can be harder than most, right?
in the wintertime is a challenge.
Yeah.
And let's put it in perspective.
Yeah.
We try to say it's local, but we do use like local people. Like say for meat, we use Turini Brothers. For maybe for produce, we use sometimes Smith's Market, the individual grocery stores. I do not believe that I've been incursion to the big places like Cisco or Gordon Food Service. I refuse to do that because they send you bulk, and I refuse to have bulk. I don't have a freezer. I don't have a deep fryer. Kind of bit. I shop by the day, so it's a bit difficult in the wintertime to find. Let's say it because it takes about a few days to bring vegetables or seafood, and why not? But it is a challenge in the winter. In the summertime, good thing we have a couple market here that they provide us with some stuff. We have a couple farms, and we try to stay locally as much as I can. But we try to support the local people. Like there is no way for me to say today it's an easy thing to get ingredient, especially the word fresh ingredient. There is no such a thing in the wintertime, and I don't like to fool myself and fool other people. Say, oh, it's a fresh, and it's growing in the backyard in the wintertime. There's no such a thing. Yes, there's a couple of greenhouses. Yes, we deal with some of them. The price will double the amount, triple the amount, and that's the challenge that we see. And sometimes lately we have to make maybe the menu smaller and deal with that. That's about it. Like, I cannot really say in the wintertime it's easy, but in the summertime it's a lot easier.
Yeah. And how about yourself with your restaurant?
Haitian food is very, diverse. There's a lot of little things. So when you decided you're gonna cook for the Sudbury community, we have to select based on what available on the market, what we can, find to buy. Like Mohammed says, we go local because when you talk about fresh product, like using pepper, using tomato, they have to be fresh, and then you can keep them for long. So you can't stock them like, oh, I have a 1 ton, or I have a tomato, So you have to go daily, and sometimes based on the consumption. Like you can't tell customer what to buy. They're gonna come this week, 2 days, they're gonna buy this, and next thing you know, you're out. So you have to go quick, get again. So my closest market a day is 3 to 4 trips. I have to run, go get that. So it's sometimes we go to big city like Toronto to go like to get something frozen, so we can put like. So I try to save some money because when you pay it here, so you pay everything, transportation, labor, everything. But you do the labor yourself, so you pay the transportation, you get it cheaper. But it's not you can do it for all the ingredients. And in our case, we have that rice we call John rice. It's a rice we cook with a mushroom that grow only in Haiti.
Ooh.
So for me, it's a challenge to offer, but I'm a challenger. So I say, you know what? It tastes so good. I have to do it. I have to give it to the people. I have to watch every time somebody is coming from Haiti to come to Canada. To beg them to bring me some John. And I tell them, anybody know me, I know you. You come to Canada without John, don't speak to me anymore.
No, you guys are blessed because you're in the city of Sudbury, right? I'm an hour and a half away from Sudbury, so I'm making 2 to 3 trips here to come to some of the vendors here. But local, one of my models is fresh local, and it's really important. I find I have a great grocery store that's in my community. I'm there probably 4 or 5 times a day, picking up stuff as my customers want it. And like you said, as the winter's coming along, you don't have the same farms that are available to give you the same produce and things like that. But my menu changes a little bit to stews and things like that. But when you're shopping, like I find the big guys, like you said, they bring out so much stuff. They want to sell you all this stuff. And I'm just like, no, I don't need all that. Or they want this pre-made stuff. And I find that our society is looking more for the freshest ingredients. And I think when we shop fresh, especially in the summertime, we can bring the price
Down.
comparably down. So that's a big one. The next question I want to ask is the real estate agent, as you've been in the business for a little bit of time now.
Yeah.
And how do you see the market in terms of the restaurant business? Because there's a lot of small businesses have gone out of business, and people are changing hands. You just did an awesome deal you were just telling me about before.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, so in the market right now, it's very tight for restaurant space. There's not a lot of space available on the market in an entirety. I'm working with tons of restaurant clients right now, like local people, some that want to bring franchises to Greater Sudbury, and it's a challenge to find space for them.
Right.
There's lots of things to consider when choosing a space, things like zoning bylaws, parking ratios, and obviously the state as a whole. When you look at a space and it's a retail, you do need a change of use permit to make it into a restaurant, which flags a lot of other things to do with the city, such as accessible washrooms and depending if it's a takeout style or sit-down restaurant. It all makes a difference. But yeah, it's becoming very tight and rates are going up.
Oh yeah, for sure. So do you find is there still a lot of small guys or medium-sized businesses that are still trying to open up their own brands?
Yeah, absolutely. It's just we don't have the space for them.
Right.
And obviously you want that exposure. You want to be on main roads,
Yeah.
and there's only so many spots.
Right. And how are the landlords towards new owners starting a new business compared to, say, a larger corporation?
It depends on the landlord, of course. I think you do need to work with a trusted professional like myself to be able to help guide and kind of set those expectations.
Right.
Like for example, most landlords want a 5-year term for a small business or a new business. They'll ask for a personal guarantee for them to have some added security. And kind of things like that. Yeah.
Right. So when you're looking at your business plan and your real estate part of it, you really have to lay that out. How this is gonna be paid, so that when they come to you, you can tell that story to the landlord. Like, I have this great client, he's opening up a new business, but this is what projections is, right?
When I'd be able to write that offer in a way that it puts them in the best spot.
Right.
At moving forward
So a professional like you really can really coach that and make it a better scenario than just me knocking on someone's door and say, hey, I want to open up a restaurant here, and have all this passion where you can say, hey, yeah, it's great to have your passion, but let's take your business plan, let's make it a more stronger argument, especially in this competitive market.
Yeah, absolutely. And especially working with a professional from Alette Goring as well, like we have access to off-market opportunities. A lot of times listings don't hit the market before they end up being leased.
Okay, yeah. So they just know people or opportunities come along.
You'll drive down the road and be like, hey, I thought that was like XYZ and now it's ABC, how did that happen?
Right.
It's all in the background.
Oh, okay, perfect. I'm going to ask the restaurateurs again is, in terms of your financing, have you found it easier to get financing over the last couple of years or a lot harder? Or you're so established that you don't...
Well, I'm saying I don't really recall that I did any finance with the bank.
Okay.
I was lucky enough to, in the beginning of my opening my shop, I had a partner, and my partner was well off, and that partner, he was my 50% partner,
Okay.
and then he asked me to bring a amount of money to be his partner,
Right.
and then he would become a silence partner, not a worker partner.
Right.
So that was nice of him to bring me this opportunity. So I was able, the first 6 years, I was able to buy him out and then establish myself and then buy the building out. And from there, I think I was very lucky to continue being busy for some time of my life. and I'm a small place, so I can fill up my place as fast as, as people go out. But the most challenging was when it came to the pandemic.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, which was, I was not qualified for
Sir.
any subsidized thing as the lease or the rent. Everybody was almost getting 70%. And unfortunately, because my building was paid for, and
you were the owner of it.
I was the owner, and I did not get the 70%. My beautiful ex-employees decided to go on SERB, so I was not able to get the 70% of my
Staff.
of the staff, which is, it's okay. So that was a challenge. The first 2 years it was up and down, but we managed because we had to go through my saving or stuff like that. And I have to say, fortunately, it was very sad. I have now to go to the government of Canada. They should have make it fair, without you have some kind of a rent. They should give you 70% for the value of every month. And unfortunately, that was not the case. And that was a challenge for me the last 2 years, over the last 30 years. It was a bit difficult. But we managed, we're there, and we're working, we're back again, and we just go for it and stay healthy. And there is the money, we make money does not make us. So,
Right.
that's,
And yourself, did you find it challenging through the start of COVID that, getting funded, or were you self-funded also, or?
The restaurant opened with 2 partners,
Okay.
myself and another member of the community. And I remember our first pot of rice, I went to the grocery store to get a bag of rice for $10.
Yeah.
So this is how we started.
Yeah.
So I'm kind of a specialist with starting business with zero. So I've done that, and I know how to do it, how to collect resources. This is a bottle of water, but some people might say, oh, this is 75 cents because it's worth 75 cents. I see a bottle of water. So this is why when you start in business, you don't see the money, but you see the value of the money.
Yeah.
So we started with what we had.
Yeah.
Whatever we have, she has a job, I have a job, we're gonna put this, we're gonna put that, and we're gonna go slow because you're learning while you're building the business. You invest $1 million in a business, you don't have enough knowledge, you might lose it. But you can start with $100, with $10, and you build your knowledge with the business, and you succeed. So that's how we go. So, but what happened to me is, during the time, she just dive on the water and leave me in the boat by myself. So when you carry a long table, everybody has an edge, and then somebody just drop it. So now I have the whole table on myself. So am I looking to get funding? Yes, I need some free money. This is why I like no beep. Oh, do I have to? No beep said there's no free money. So we kind of not do happy with no beep for now, because as black people, if you say you're helping black people business and you don't see like helping with the money, you say, we need training. Oh yeah, we need training. Yes, we need that. But we start with we are black. Everybody knows black history. Like we need money to do stuff. So if we don't have money to help, so we don't consider that really for help. Right. Do I go to bank? Before you go to the bank to get the money, you need to know, are we gonna be able to pay it back? Yeah. If not, you're drawing yourself. Yeah. So funding for now, our project, I know what next to do so I can go the clientele to make money. I have a plan, I have a project, but before I say yes, what is the percentage? Okay, I'm gonna make more sale to make money to pay that back.
Which is really good. Myself, like I was saying, I was catering for over 8 years, and when I decided to open up my shop, I did use a local business development group called Elenos. It's in the Elliott Lake area, and I had catered for them for many years, and I've done a lot of things for them for many years. So the small amount of money I asked for, it was easy for them to say yes. As I'm growing and as I'm employing people, you always need more money to employ people, and I find that's where the hardest part is right now. I guess my shock is that if the government is giving out the money to us and to the community for businesses to thrive and to get better, because we employ a lot of people, we feed a lot of people, right? And for us to maintain that, some help is welcome, because we have a lot of, I love the great businesses. I go to McDonald's, I go to all these great establishments too, because I want to eat different foods, and sometimes it's just a fast food to eat. And they get funding, which is great, but us as a small entity, because we don't always speak in one big voice, we speak all differently sometimes. I think with this organization, we're trying to get to the next level and say, hey, we're behind, like, this is what we need, this is what we want, right? And those are the things that I think as we go forward as a community, we can see that, funding is not as easy, but it's there. But you have to, like you said, starting is the first thing, and establishing a clientele is a very important thing, because it doesn't matter. You could have the best idea in a restaurant, the best food that you could imagine, but if you haven't situated yourself for a clientele, it doesn't matter how much money you get. You can get millions and millions of dollars, but it will not get you to the point where clients will just pop out of nowhere, right? So one of the things that how I pitched my business was, in my community, 3 restaurants closed, right? So one restaurant in COVID closed, another restaurant in COVID closed, and then every other restaurant, there's only 2 restaurants, myself and another guy. The other one is a seasonal restaurant. And I said, in the amount of people that I serve, they don't have enough variety. And the one guy is a pizza guy, which he makes great pizza, but there's no alternative to fresh local food. So I think the biggest thing when it comes to money is finding your clientele that really brings you the money that you need, right? And in the meanwhile, we'll struggle in so many ways. I guess another one of my questions is, what are some of your biggest, I guess against everyone, is your biggest struggles in the business of restaurants? So with the health department, what do you see as the biggest struggles for restaurateurs?
That's a tough question to answer. I'm not sure what I would say the biggest struggle is. I'm anxious to hear what they have to say. I think maybe, getting over the fear of the public health inspector and the enforcement side of it might be a struggle, but I hope that that's easy to get over. Maybe a struggle to meet, certain aspects of our requirements, because not everyone is necessarily aware of everything we require. But again, we're happy to work with restaurateurs. So I don't know. And I guess finding a space is definitely a struggle, but from my perspective, I'm anxious to hear what they have to say.
So what would you say would be the biggest struggle for restaurateurs right now?
Obviously, like the lack of inventory right now, but I think what I see a lot is you need to get yourself prepared in every aspect, so when a space does come up, like, they can jump on it. I think, hiring a professional, and in saying that as well, like, most times we do get paid by the landlord, so my service is technically free to tenants, but I think, like, setting the expectation of what's to come, and preparing them of what, an offer looks like, what a lease agreement looks like, and
Right. What would be one of your biggest struggles, you think, going for the year or so?
Yeah, for a 2 years restaurant, gonna be much different from the 30 years,
Yeah.
Now it's trying to balance the numbers, what you're putting out, what you're getting in.
Right.
Restaurant equipment are expensive.
Yeah.
So even small plates, small pen, you have to spend $100 for that. A knife, you have to spend big money for that.
You're not just buying some simple knife for your house.
Exactly. So you spend on that, and then the location, the rent, And for the first years, they say for 3 years, you're only working, to support that, to pay the landlord, to pay this, to pay that. The second thing is to get help.
Yeah.
You're finding yourself doing everything yourself because you have to hire somebody minimum wage, which is this, that, an hour. So how much you making an hour when you're selling, You have to look also at, your clientele. You're not the only restaurant. There's many restaurants serving different things. So how to get as much people that you need to bring food from you to bring the money so you can face your, for your expenses. That's the challenge for now.
Oh, for sure. What about yourself?
Well, it's a challenge between to keep the customers happy. That's a big challenge.
Right.
And to maintain half the regular customers, that's another big challenge. And then keep your employees happy, that's another big challenge. Yeah. It's very tough. It's not that easy, and things has changed for the last 2 years. And you see maybe customers that you know them for 27 years, and you don't see them for 2 years, and they start to come back. They're not the same.
Yeah.
Your staff are not the same. So that pandemic has changed a lot of people. It's the challenge now how to take it day by day and just every day is a good day and do your best.
Yeah.
I think so.
I think my biggest challenge is staffing.
Right.
It's being with new staff, training people, having the ability to let them make their mistakes. Like yesterday I came in and a broom was broken. And the guy's like, oh, the broom was broken. I was like, how did it break? He goes, I pulled it. And I was like, you pulled it, but didn't you feel the tension that it might break? And the same guy, I bought this great little food processor, but somehow he shoved the thing in wrong. And I'm just like, oh man. So you just, those different things that, is a big thing. Yeah.
I changed food processor the last year 4 times.
Yeah.
Just speaking, I think
And
I
they're not cheap.
had the same guy maybe working for me.
Yeah. Because he put the little thing, and I go, how did you do that? But in any of your restaurants, or any also we'll ask this as a real estate person, and health is serving alcohol. In my restaurant, I don't serve alcohol. In any of your restaurants, do you serve alcohol of any sort?
I do.
Yeah?
I'm a licensee holder, yes.
And what do you find some of the, getting yourself prepared to do that? And
Just you have to have your staff trained and to serve alcohol, which is by law, which is we provide that, and at the same time, just make sure as much as you can if someone drink a little extra, make sure he's not being served anymore and he's been looked after, going home, and been provide the right transportation, make sure he never drives. And that's the big challenge when you are a liquor license holder.
Yeah.
You almost have to watch for your colleagues because you become responsible for that, and that's a sad part. But it is what it is. That's it comes with the respectable. If someone drink too much, you gotta stop it, and you gotta make sure they go home safe, not driving at all. Other than that, your staff has to be trained, and it also comes with train for everything, and safety comes. The most important thing is nothing else. I'm glad my establishment is not a bar, so it's a fine dining, so we don't get no upsetting or people get out of hand. We always get so far. So like in 30 years, touch wood, we don't have any incidents.
That's awesome.
And so that's but we get some people who are
A little intoxicated.
or intoxicated, and you refuse to serve them, and then they call you names, or they put you on Facebook, or you try say no, you're not, no, we cannot serve you, and then they kind of bit of they get back to you with vengeance because you try to make them not drink and drive, and then that's the only one bad side of us almost babysit who is intoxicating. It's a tough one. But we don't get it that often. Maybe once every second year we'll get someone, we'll have to stop, and then they will attack us. But other than that, it's all good. But
And as the health department, do you get involved with alcohol at all?
Our role is pretty minimal with alcohol. So essentially, what the Alcohol and Gaming Commission wants to know from us is that the food premises meets the requirements of the regulations, so the Ontario Food Premises Regulations. So it essentially involves an inspection, and we would say, yes, they meet the requirements of the legislation. We have no objections, and we would provide the applicant and the Alcohol and Gaming Commission with a letter to state that.
Right.
And if there's anything that they don't meet, it's just a matter of meeting the requirements, and then we'll issue the letter. And then the permit and licensing would come from the Alcohol and Gaming Commission. So.
Okay. And as a real estate agent, do you find that there's certain properties that are good, or landlords that are good for that, or?
So something to keep in mind is that not all spaces are eligible to get liquor licenses based on, zoning bylaws and whatnot.
Right.
Also, depending on the landlord, and who they are, they may not want an establishment with a liquor license on the premises. So.
Right. Yeah, it depends on how close there are to certain aspects of people, and based on their insurance.
Yeah, when it's a big one for landlords right now is cannabis stores. Obviously they're opening everywhere, but some landlords don't want a cannabis establishment renting, their space.
But there's more cannabis stores than the corner stores.
No, I know.
Yeah.
The last one, in terms of, do you have alcohol in your establishment?
I can't wait to dig in that market because I'm kind of jealous when I see my neighbor having a lot of cars parking. I know it's for the alcohol because I know my food is better than theirs.
Yeah.
So I can't wait. In fact, I have a question for health department. Do I need 2 separate washrooms to start, or can I have one?
The washrooms actually falls under the building code. So we you'd have to check with the city of Greater Sudbury, the municipality, and find out what the requirements are for the washrooms. I do believe you may need 2 separate, but I'm not 100% sure. So that's more of a question for the building department.
Can I top that to my dear colleague for 1 second? Don't look at next door neighbor. Your next door neighbor is a bar. He's not a restaurant. So he's a bar, and the clientele they have is totally different from your clientele. I don't mean to, I'm not here to say, concentrate on your building, on your place. This next door to you, there's totally different clientele.
Yeah. Focus on you.
Yeah, I don't mean,
It's
totally
just to say,
different.
I know that bringing alcohol will bring me more customers. That's all I mean to say.
Yeah.
Well, it's not.
But it also brings you more headaches too sometimes.
Yeah, bring more. But don't compare yourself to the next door neighbor, because your next door is totally bar. It's just,
Right.
it's totally different ball game than yours.
So I want to thank everybody. We're going to wrap up today. So I want to thank our health department, our real estate, and our 2 restaurants, and myself for coming out. We're going to be having a video come out. It's the Black Entrepreneur Man. Oh, so yeah. If you can just tell them a little bit more about their business. Oh, there's going to be a video coming out about Black entrepreneurs and their business. So thank you for joining us today, and
Thank you.
Stay in touch with us, and if you have any questions for us, I'm sure you can find us. We'll be posted on our on the website.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.